How's everybody doing today? It is December 14th, 2020, and I have an article here that truly shows how far they're willing to push this, and also it just shows how much they don't care about you and I, your family, your loved ones, and the family that you need, the comfort that you need. Okay. Um, this says from CNN. It says Angela Merkel pleads with Germans to avoid a last Christmas with the grandparents. Yeah, a last Christmas. It says Germany was praised among European nations for its handling of the first wave of the CV-19 pandemic, but on Tuesday it suffered its deadliest day yet, and infection rates are still rising. So what's gone wrong? Speaking in German Parliament Wednesday, Chancellor Angela Merkel warned that nationwide restrictions brought in on November 2nd had not proven effective enough, with too many people now dead or in intensive care units with CV-19. See, this is what we've been talking about. They told, we've been saying this, that they're just going to say we didn't listen. Why didn't you listen? We told you we were just going to put in these slight restrictions, and if you just would have listened to us, we wouldn't be having to do what we're having to do now, which is make these restrictions more and more and more. It says, a day after the country reported a record 590 deaths, Merkel grew emotional as she appealed to her fellow Germans to keep one another safe by reducing their social contacts before the holidays, especially if they plan to visit older people. It says, if we have too many contacts now before Christmas and that ends up making it the last Christmas with grandparents, then we will have failed. We should not do that, she told a budget session in Bundestag. It says, the Chancellor added that the daily death toll was a price too high for keeping some shops open, including much-loved waffle and mulled wine stands in the festive season. There are still 14 days until Christmas, and we have to do everything we can to prevent exponential growth again. Everything, yeah, they have to do everything they have to do, which means taking away all your rights, all your loved ones, everything that you want to do with your family. These times are so important, especially with the type of year that everybody has had. You need this comfort and the family and the love that you get, when you're around your family now, right now, more than you ever have before. I mean, think about it. How many people are depressed, going through some of the worst times they've ever had in their lives? Most likely, a lot of them, the worst times they've ever had in their lives. These people don't care. They want to act like they care, but they don't. She goes on, it says, Merkel urged federal state leaders to start Christmas holidays sooner, on December 16th rather than December 19th, to help people limit their contact and allow them to isolate for longer before seeing older relatives. It says the Chancellor also wants a full lockdown to be implemented for several days, possibly 2 weeks after Christmas, in order to bring down infection rates. But for that to happen, she needs to get all leaders of the 16 states on side. I'm sure she will. So there you go. So if you're in any of these areas over there, plan on being locked down for 2 weeks after Christmas. Just because you didn't listen, because you wanted to have Christmas with your family. As Europe's second wave of CB infections gathered steam going into autumn, some European nations like France and England imposed national lockdown measures. However, Germany's state and federal leaders agreed on lighter restrictions. See how they flip this? They're trying to say, look at Germany. Oh, we did lighter restrictions. We were trying to look out for you. We didn't want to, shut you down and lock you down like, the other European nations did. Okay? But now it's too late. It didn't work because you didn't listen to us. Okay? A nationwide partial lockdown was imposed, which required restaurants and bars to remain closed, but schools and shops remained open. It says people were urged to avoid travel, keep their contact to an absolute minimum, and limit public meetings to no more than 5 members of 2 different households. It said these restrictions are due to be relaxed over the Christmas period in much of the country, allowing people to meet in groups of up to 10 people, not counting children. Do you see this? This is look at they're saying, oh, this is, they're giving you something. You should be happy. Aren't you happy we're allowing you to do this? We're going to let you have up to 10 people instead of 5 people. You should thank us, right? That's what they're saying. It says, while some states like Bavaria favor stricter measures, others are opposed. It says, meanwhile, Germany is struggling to contain a surge in new infections and death rates have continued to climb. The country suffered its deadliest day of the pandemic Tuesday with 590 known fatalities. The Robert Koch Institute said Wednesday the previous record was 487 known deaths reported on December 2nd, according to RKI, the country's disease and control agency. It says the RKI also reported 20,850 new daily infections on Wednesday, about 3,500 more than the same day the previous week. The total tally of CV19 infections in the country is now 1.2 million. Now we're going to stop here. I am so sick of hearing infections. Do you understand that this means absolutely nothing? What if somebody was to come on and say, we had 3 million infections of pink eye? It would mean absolutely nothing. Well, it's extremely, extremely infectious. Well, yeah, no joke. That's what they keep saying here. Well, it's just so infectious there. You don't understand. Infections mean nothing. They're just throwing massive numbers. You don't ever hear on an average flu year, you don't ever hear them say, oh, there was 33 million flu infections this season. No, they don't. Because they didn't need it that. They didn't need to push those numbers that. They're just using the bigger number that they can find. And right now, it is a infection rate. It goes on. It says at least 19,932 people have died of CV19 in Germany. Let's stop real quick, okay? 19,000 people in over a year. If you want to go and look up the math on that and tell me if you think that that's a lot of people that have died in 1 year, an entire year, under 20,000 people, I'm going to tell you right now it's not. But go and look it up. You need to look this stuff up. Don't take my word for it. Go and do the research. The numbers they'll blow you away. They will. They will make this be so obvious to you, so in your face, to realize that they have taken everything away from you due to something that is such a, minuscule amount of people that die from it. If you get it. If you end up even getting it, 99% survive no problem. And you've lost your entire lives over this. It says, this figure is still much lower than the fellow European nations such as United Kingdom, France, Italy, and Spain, reflecting Germany's success in handling the first pandemic wave. Look, it says, health minister, it cannot go on like this. Addressing the Bundestag, Merkel said Germany was finding the second wave more demanding than the first, although the country could see a light at the end of the tunnel thanks to what? That's right. The CV19 vaccines that are coming out everywhere, they actually just started doing them in the United States. The first doses were given out 2 days ago. So this is happening everywhere. Calling for state leaders to back the tougher measures, she said it was wrong, in her opinion, that hotels were open during Christmas season, as it could create incentive for relatives to make overnight trips. I also think it's right to close school during this time, either by extending the holidays until January 10th or doing digital lessons, whatever. But we need fewer contacts, Merkel said. Germany's leader warned last month that the country failed to rein in rising infections. Its much vaunted healthcare system could collapse within weeks. They've been threatening this forever. Oh, the ICUs are filling up. Hospitals are filling up. If you don't listen. If you don't give up every right that you have. If you don't stay in your home, listen to what we say. Wear a mask. Take our vax. Take our test. If you don't do any of that, everything's going to collapse. And then we're going to have to do all these different things. Do people not realize that what you're giving up now is much worse than what they could ever impose on you after it collapsed? You're giving everything up willingly. It's time to stop doing this. It says Health Minister John Spahn reiterated in a message in an interview Tuesday with ARD-TV saying, high cost, high death tolls, high strain on our intensive care units. It cannot go on like this. We have to look out for one another, even if some don't want to hear it anymore. See, this is to me and to all of you. If we don't want, even if some don't want to hear it anymore. We don't want to hear it anymore because we know the truth, and the truth is not what you're saying, okay? It's not even close to what you're saying. It says the head of Germany's interdisciplinary agency for intensive care medicine urged people Wednesday to try not to visit their loved ones during the holidays. Just so sad. It really is. Think about how many people are struggling, like I said, that are depressed, just going through horrible, horrible times, and now they're telling you, no, don't go see them. No, you don't need to visit with your family. It's more important that you stay home, listen to us, take our vax, wear the mask, do all that, because if you don't care about other people, right? Because that's how they flipped everything on us like they knew they would. Okay, we're the bad people. We are evil. We are mean because we won't just go listen to them and take their backs because, why don't you care about the elderly, Eric? Why don't you care about these other people? No, I'm sorry. I care about my family, my loved ones, and I care about all the ones like you and your families that are fighting and doing everything that they can to just get through a day to day, okay? Not trying to get through the next month or year. No, people are struggling to get through each day. It says, at the moment that you all get together for Christmas and say it will all be under control, said the president of a DIVI in an interview with CNN affiliate NTV, says, then 7 days later, your grandma gets a high fever. Another 7 days later, she gets transferred to the ICU. And then in another 3 days later, maybe she's dead. Maybe then your eyes will open, but then unfortunately it will be too late. When I read this, this was the reason I made the article, because it just shows how evil this is. Look at them throwing that in your face, trying to threaten you with that right there. Oh, yep, so if you go and spend time with your family over the holidays, look, 7 days later, she's going to get a fever, then 7 days later, she'll be in the ICU, and then, maybe 3 days later, she's dead. Then your eyes will open, but then it'll be too late. Do you see? It's really evil how far they're taking this, okay? And it's not going to stop. It's going to continue to get worse. I keep hearing everybody talk about, oh, hey, 2020 is almost over. Yeah, 2020, the horrible year of 2020 is almost over. I'm sorry, but I do not believe 2021 is going to be any better. I truly believe it'll be worse. But people seem to be so anxious to get to this new year, and I just have a feeling they're not going to be saying that a few months into the year. Said hard lockdown in Saxony. Several German states have already decided to tighten restrictions to try to get the CB situation under control. The state of Saxony in southeast Germany will go into what officials there are calling a hard lockdown. These are coming everywhere, okay? It says next week, closing most shops and moving schools to online classes. It says Bavaria, which has had some of the highest numbers of CB infections. See? Infections, they got to use that. They can't use anything else. Got to use the highest numbers. Also agreed Tuesday on a tighter lockdown restrictions. Its governor, Markus Söder, criticized people who shrug off death numbers as he gave an emotional speech in Bavaria's state parliament. Everything's emotional. They're trying to show that they care, right? No. When did you care months ago? When did you care years ago? When did the government ever cared about you? Truly, if you can think back and think when they've actually cared about you, if you can find a time, let me know, because I'm going to tell you right now, it didn't. If they helped you out, they were getting something back on the other side. Don't ever forget that. It's us versus them. You and your family versus these ones that are in control. It's not you versus your neighbor, but that's what they want. They want you fighting your neighbor. They want you fighting everyone around you to keep us divided, because they know if we're together, we're united, we're stronger, and that they can't beat us if we are together. That's why they shut down my videos. They shut down my channels. They're, worldwide blocking my videos before I can even get them up. It's getting ridiculous. It says, I think it's highly disturbing and extremely outrageous if the reaction is just a shrug off the shoulders. Death tolls are not just statistics, he said. Of course, it's the mostly older people, but we are talking about parents and grandparents. How can some react so heartlessly and coldly when talking about this subject? See? This is exactly what I talked about. They were going to say this to you. Say it to me. Eric, how can you react so heartlessly? No, we're not. We're just saying that the numbers don't add up, that you don't completely wipe people out, wipe families out, wipe what people have worked their entire lives out. Just in the last year, you've destroyed millions and millions and millions of people's lives over because you say, as you say here, of course it's mostly older people. I'm sorry. People get sick. People die. It happens, okay? And we all don't want that. We love our families. We love our grandparents. We care for them. Them saying that we don't is just ridiculous. We do, but you have to put it all together. You have to put it out there and see if, all the restrictions and everything they've taken from you, everything that you've lost, is that equal to what they're saying it is, because of this small percentage of your elderly people that are dying. Is that worth it? Do they add up? Okay, these are hard questions, but they don't if you look into it and take the time. It says, his comments come against a backdrop of skepticism in some parts of German society. A string of demonstrations has taken place against the country's anti-pandemic measures, with many protesters denying the severity of the virus. Yeah, well, I'm not from Germany, I'm from the United States, but I'm right here fighting with them, okay? And because I truly believe that they are right. Too many people have lost everything that they've had over something that just doesn't add up, okay? And now we know where it's all ended. It's all led to this vax. The vax is here. It's being distributed. And it's going to continue to get worse with this, okay? Because right now, everybody that they're giving it to is doing it willingly. In a month or two or a few months, it will be a step-by-step progression, like I've talked about a lot. Next, they will try to talk on the radio, on the TV. They'll get, Obama. They'll get all these different celebrities saying how good it is because they need to get all the ones that are on the fence still, okay? They're trying to pull those ones in willingly by just persuading them with all these, people that, are trustworthy, like they said, that have credibility because their own governments don't even have the credibility, which is just hilarious because it's pretty bad that your own health, they don't have the credibility. The government health people don't, that should say something right there. They shouldn't have to go get celebrities and presidents and all this different thing to get people to influence them that this vax is going to be a good thing. But once they get through that stage, then the third stage comes, okay, which is people like me, people like you, the ones that are not going to do it no matter what. And then they're going to come after us, just like I said here, saying that we are heartless. That was their exact words right here. We are heartless, right there, okay? And that is going to be the issue. They will be, when it comes to that, it's going to be, you're heartless, Eric, just take this vax, and if you're not going to do it, then we're going to do this, okay? Well, I'm ready, I know you're ready, so they can bring all the threats that they want, and it doesn't matter. Everybody, please stay safe, stay strong. If you all could, please say some prayers for my mom. She's really been having a rough time lately, and it's taken a lot of my time being able to be on here. But I'm not stopping. I mean, I've been trying to put out videos, and I've gotten 2 out of the last 3 blocked. I'm praying this one doesn't get blocked. But if you could just say some prayers, I would appreciate it. And just always know that you are all in my prayers, and I care for you. And I thank you all so much for always being here for my channel and just supporting our cause, because we can't stop. We can't give up no matter how much we're being pushed against and told that we're heartless and cold. We just can't give up, okay? Everybody, stay safe, stay strong, continue to pray against all of this. And remember, you need your faith now more than ever. So please, please remember that. Everybody, we'll talk to you all real soon. God bless.